Good afternoon, viewers. I am Ringmol B. Dalladi. I'm going to teach physical and health education. Topic for today is skeletal system. Before we move on, we'll look at the objectives. They are there on the board, in which you can go through. We are going to look at human skeleton under skeletal system. What is human skeleton? Human skeleton is a framework of the body. It consists of the bones and the cartilages. The connective tissues of the skeletons are ligaments and tendons. These are the things that help to hold the bones together. Meaning of skeleton. Human skeleton is the internal framework which supports the body to stand upright. When we talk about the internal framework, we are talking about the bones of the body, which are formed during child development in the womb. It composed of 270 bones, but it decreases as the child develops to an adult stage. The bones decrease to 206 when they fuse together. The bone's mass in skeleton reaches maximum density around the age of 21. We have different types of human skeleton, which are two in number. One, we have axial skeleton. Two, we have appendicular skeleton, in which we are going to look at them one after the other. We are going to look at axial skeleton. What axial skeleton is all about? Axial skeleton is formed by the vertebral column, the rib cage, the skull, and other associated bones, such as the lumbar, the coccyx, and then the sacrum. It contains the main central part of the body. We have the next one, is appendicular skeleton. The appendicular skeletons are those skeletons that attach to the main central body. This includes shoulder girdles, the pelvic girdles, and other bones of the upper and then the lower extremity, in which we are going to look at the structure. Before we look at the structure, I want us to identify the parts of human skeleton. Here with me is the chart that shows the parts of human skeleton. From the head, we have the head bones, which is known as the skull. We have the facial bones here, which they are 14 in number. We have the teeth. We have the jaw, that is the mandible. And then the upper and then the lower. We have the collarbone, which is also known as the clavicle. We have the next one, we have the shoulder blades, which is known as the scapula. We have the breastbone, which is known as the sternum. We have the upper bone, the upper arm bone, which is known as the humerus. We have the rib cage, that's the ribs, which are 12 in number. We have the backbone here, that is the lumbar, around the waist is known as the lumbar. We have the hip bones, which are the pelvic girdles, they are 2 in number. We have here, we have the forearm, which are the radius and then the ulna. From there, we have the wrist bones, which are known as the carpals. Then we have the hand bones, which are known as the metacarpals. Then we have the fingers bones. They are known as phalanges. Then from the lower extremity, we have the thigh bones. That is femur bone. We have the kneecap, which is also known as the patella. We have the shin bone, which are 2 in number. One is tibia, and then the other one is fibula. We have the ankle bones. The ankle bones, they are also known as tarsal bones. And then we have the foot bones, are known as metatarsals. And then we have the foot bones here. They are also known as phalanges. Now I'm going to give you the division of the types of skeleton. Here with me, we have a structure which shows the divisions of the types of skeleton. Here, like I said from the beginning, we have the main central body, which consists of the skull, that is bones of the head, bones of the neck, bones of the trunk, bones of the waist, and then the tail. We have from the skull, the bones are divided into 4. Here we have the occipital bones, auditory oscule, that is bones from the ear, we call it as auditory oscule. Behind we have the medulla oblongata, we have occipital bone, then we have the frontal bone. We have the facial bones, there are 14 in number. We have the eye socket, we have the nose cavity, we have the mandible, the upper and then the lower. We have the zygomatic bones, that is the chin bone. The chin bone is known as zygomatic bones. Then we have the bones of the neck, which are 7 in number. And they are also called cervical bones. Then we have the bones of the trunk here. They are 12 in number. They are 12 in number. And it is known as the thoracic bones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then we have the bones below the thoracic, which is the waist bone. It is called the lumbar. They are 5 in number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are 5 in number. Then we have the next one, we have the sacral. They are 4 bones there. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are 4. And then we have the next, we have the coccygeal bones, which is 2. It depends on the individual difference. All in all, the vertebral column bones are 33 and thereabout. That consists of the main central body. But the other bones which are attached to the main central body are known as the appendicular skeleton. They are known as the appendicular skeleton, which we are going to look at it one after the other. The appendicular skeleton, we are talking about the upper extremity. The upper extremity consists of the clavicle. We have the collarbone. When you see the name collar come from the shirt that we always put on, this is the collar. And the name comes from that. We have the collarbone, which is known as the clavicle. Then we have other 2 flat bones here. They are known as the scapula. They are known as the scapula 1 and 2. Then the next, we have the arms bone. The arm bone. Here, we have 2 of them. It's known as humerus. After the humerus, we have the next 2 bones. From the arm, we have the next 2 bones. One is known as the ulna and then the radius. The bigger one is called the radius, while the smaller one is ulna. Then next, from there, we have the cartilage. That is the ribs bones. They are 7 in number. After the ribs bones, we have the hand bones, which are 5 in number, and it is called metacarpals. We have the fingers bones, which are 14 in number, and they are also called phalanges. Let's look at it. This is my hand. You can see the division of each bone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, which they are 14 in number. Let us go down to the lower extremity, that is the lower limbs. We are going to talk about the lower limbs. One, we have the two flat bones here. They are called as the pelvic girdles. From the pelvic girdles, there are other divisions. Within the pelvic girdles, we have three bones there. We have the pubis, we have the ischium, and then the ilium. The pubis, the ischium, and then the ilium. Now, we have below the pelvic girdle. We have below the pelvic girdle. The long bone here is called the femur bone. It's called the femur bone. After the femur bone, we also have what we call as the kneecap. This is the kneecap. The kneecap is also known as patella. It's also known as patella. Then from here, after the knee, we have the leg bones, which are two. One bigger one and then the smaller one. We have the bigger one is known as the tibia, while the small one is known as the fibula. Then after that, we have the ankle bones. The ankle bones here are called tarsal. There are 7 bones there, while the next foot bones are called metatarsal. And after that, we have the toes bones, which are also known as phalanges, and they are also 14 in number. These are the bones that we have in human being. When you calculate the total number of the bones from the head down to, they are about 206 bones in adult. There are 206 bones in adult. Now, when you look at it, the upper and then the lower extremity, it has given us the total number of the bones, and then the axial skeleton, and then the appendage. Look at the functions of human skeleton. 1, it serves as a support to the body to stand upright. 2, it protects some delicate or vital organs of the body, such as the heart, the lungs, the brain, and the spinal cord. 3, it helps in locomotion. It aids one to move. 4, it helps in the attachment of muscles, which the muscles are being attached, which help to hold the bones together, such as the tendon and the ligament. It helps in blood cells production, which some of the bloods are being formed through bones marrow, especially children. But in adults, the blood cells are being formed within the cartilage and the vertebrae. Next point, it helps in endocrine regulation, such as oxytocin. It is a hormone which is secreted to boost the blood sugar or the glucose, which help to regulate the insulin in the body, and fats, which reduce or decrease the fat level. Next point, it helps as a storage of mineral, such as calcium, phosphorus, and iron. This one takes us to the end of our lesson today. I'm going to give you an assignment. Students, you can go and read about bones and its types for the next class.